Libra 9. 3 old masters hanging in an art gallery. Old masters, lovely works of art, dated hundreds of years ago, that have passed the test of time. What we're referring to here is the spiritual path, strangely. And the need that we have for a culture of beauty, and therefore the ability that we have to develop how to appreciate subtle things in life, such as paintings and other artworks by implication. How do we appreciate the art in music and architecture and these kind of things? This is all included. So the art gallery is just an example of where we've invested a lot of time, a lot of money. Our society spends a lot on culture. We perhaps should spend more. But the point is that we invest in something which has no tangible benefits. It's much more subtle than that. So we're discussing here training ourselves in subtlety of perception. Now, this is a requirement when we're on the spiritual path. Any of us who have the goal of greater self-realization, further evolution of our self-expression, anyone on the spiritual path and trying to understand the meaning of life and what to worship, whether to worship, and so on, these questions require us to unfold a different and more subtle ability of perception. We can't use our gross mind to understand subtle mysteries. And this is where scientists make their mistakes, and others who say, no, I don't believe in God. How can coincidence really be real? It's not measurable, and so on. Because they absolutely insist that the only mind that there is a gross mind. It's measurable. It's the case. Blind to the fact that there is a much more subtle ability of mind to perceive beauty. Yet these same people do appreciate beauty, and they don't realize that they appreciate it with a different part of their mind than the one that applies itself to science. It's a strange thing for such intelligent people to be so blind. However, the spiritual path that we're on is a well-trod path. It's altogether paradoxical. On the one hand, it's well-trod. Everyone who's ever become realized has gone through the same process, pretty much exactly. And yet, every single one of us has done it differently. So not only is this path old and well-trod, it's also new. For the first time, we're taking this step, which has never been taken before. And there's the paradox that we have to try and approach with this subtle mind that we develop through art, the appreciation of art. Now, the appreciation of art is invested in our heritage. So that which has been the case and is presented to us not only by our parents, mostly by them, but also our school teachers and society generally, and culture in the media, that which comes to us comes from the past, and it represents the path trodden by those that came before us. It's the foundation of all that we do, and it's linked to the future. The past and the future are equal partners in creating the present moment. The investment that most people make is in the future. I want things to be better, and they give their attention to that. But it's unreasonable to think that the past is any less important than the future. It does perhaps seem that way, but it's not a well-reasoned argument, because we're resting upon the past. The heritage that we have is the foundation for all that we are right now in the present, and all that we can become in the future. So we have to find a way to identify an alignment within ourselves such that the past and the future have equal important. Now that inevitably means we must respect those who have gone before us. And this is probably what is indicated in the biblical teaching, honor thy mother and father. That's how the past comes to us. And yet we also have the investment in self-expression, because the past dies until it is re-alivened, reawakened, reinvented, re-expressed in this present moment to be the foundation of what comes later in the future. So we have to find this way of respecting the old and actually claiming the right to create the new. There is a warning not to get too lost in the past and follow instructions that we were given by people that were not able to do better than they did. The old teachings, for example, the mystery teachings and the old ways of doing things, actually, when we think it through, they didn't work better than, this is what they've created. They didn't work very well, these old ways. Society today is in a terrible mess. And that's because those methods, which may well have been theoretically good, like love thy neighbor and do to others what you'd have done to yourself, and be a good person, tell the truth, love everyone, and all these things. They might sound good on paper, they might read well, but they didn't work. Something else is necessary. We need to do something differently, or we'll get the same result as we've had before, which is basically that rich and powerful people bully the poor and the needy, and that's not okay. So, although we must honor the past because it's the foundation of the present and the future, we mustn't honor it above and beyond its worth. And it's only worth as much as it's done for us, which is to bring us to this terrible state of being of the world today. However, it's better than it was for the Neanderthals. They had dinosaurs and such like to deal with, and we don't have that. So there have been some improvements because of what our parents and their parents have done, but not over much. So that's the nice balance that we're finding here, the balance between honoring the past, but not too much. Be fully aware that your self-expression in the moment is as valid as copying what you were told to do by people that didn't ever get it right anyway.